Support.
The maestro, please!
End of 2023, and you know we always do some sort of special video at the end of the year. Today we're going to be doing a record rundown of the top 25 best-selling albums of the year. Why the top 25? Well, we go over 5 different charts, plus obviously the Billboard 200, so if you take away the Billboard 200 and just do the genre-specific charts, we would do the top 5 in each one, which would equal 25. So why don't we get into it? This will be for
the top 25 albums of 2023.
On this year in music in 2023, well, I guess we're about to talk about it, so let's see.
And now I need some help from the maestro, please!
The rock charts until recently were pretty stagnant, just having all the classic rock albums up there, often compilations. Obviously, this one came back up because of that Cranberry Ocean Spray video with the guy skateboarding and drinking down to Fleetwood Mac's Dreams. Not exactly a bad reason to get back up there, but it's funny that it's still up here to this day because of that.
Do it for my family, my fans. Fuck how niggas feel. Told them it was my turn. I'm guessing that time's here. Skeleton my car.
I was impressed back in 2020 considering how long we talked about this. Over 20 episodes, I believe. I'm still shocked that it's still up here all the way in 2023. Again, like I said before, not that it's a bad album, I'm just surprised it had such staying power.
I'm a motherfucking star boy. Look what you done.
I am honestly very surprised this got up here, especially considering one of the other Weeknd albums we're going to talk about, but it did get that huge bump thanks to when he performed at the Super Bowl at the beginning of the year. Beyonce's foray into dance and electronic music, given it did cross over on the R&B and hip-hop charts as well. I do believe between the two big R&B artists that did this, obviously the other one being Drake with Honestly Nevermind, I do think Beyonce did it better.
Oh, look what you made me do. Look what you made me do. Look what you just made me do. Look what you just...
The last album she did on Big Machine before she switched over to Republic Records. Obviously, this is also one of the last albums that she has yet to re-record and make a Taylor's version, the other one being her debut studio album. Obviously back up here because of Taylor Swift's Eras tour.
You got a fast car, and I wanna take it to anywhere. Maybe we make a deal.
I will say I was never the biggest Luke Combs fan in the world. Not that I thought he was a bad country artist, it just didn't vibe with me. I tended to prefer like Chris Stapleton and the such. Given after we did the pop analysis of Fast Car, he grew on me a little bit. And you know, it's always difficult to find a country artist that you can like these days without any, you know, baggage.
Porque mañana será bonito. Hasta el cielo vuelve azulito. La niebla fue un reto.
When reggaeton first started getting popular and getting towards the top of the charts, I was worried that we were only ever gonna get like Bad Bunny. But when Karol G comes across, it really shows you the diversity within the genre. I was really hoping for another project kind of away from the Mañana Será Bonito. That being said, I did enjoy Bachota Season as well.
But there's something about the way you look tonight.
This is what I was talking about when we were in the beginning with Fleetwood Mac. This is the quintessential older rocker compilation album that pretty much dominated the top of the rock charts for so long. Nothing against Elton John, obviously. The man's a living legend and still on his final tour, but we got so much of this for so long, it was nice to finally see some diversity towards the top of the rock charts.
I remember it all too well.
I really did like that we got a different version of a song that she re-recorded, given I know they're all technically re-recorded, but they really have no changes. In fact, they're meant to be pretty similar to the originals, unlike this one. Now, am I saying we need a 10-minute version of every single Taylor Swift song? No, but it was a nice change of pace amongst all the Taylor's versions.
I'm just gonna shake, 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 shake. I shake it off, I shake it off, shake it off.
Surprisingly not Taylor's version, but it came out so late in the year it simply couldn't compete, so the reason this is up here is the same reason that Reputation was. People listening to it because of Taylor Swift's Eras tour. That being said, kind of disappointed there wasn't kind of a bigger pomp and circumstance with Taylor Swift's version of Shake It Off, but hey, I guess she wanted to focus on other songs on the album.
No, it's not the same as it was.
I feel like Harry's albums really just get kind of enveloped by one of the singles off of it that gets super popular. Like with Fine Line, it was Watermelon Sugar, and obviously with Harry's House, it was As It Was. Very catchy. The problem is when I go back to think about the album, the only one I can never remember is As It Was. So here's the other Weeknd album. I'm surprised it wasn't like Dawn FM or After Hours, but instead was the compilation album. I find it weird that Starboy of all albums charted, but not any of his others, so here we have the compilation. I get Starboy was a big deal, and arguably the most popular of his albums that have come out, but still.
I'm just trying to ball and live. 100 mil, I'm calling deals. I'm the boss, pay all the bills. I'm the golden child for real. Go off in this bitch, I will.
Similarly to My Turn, people really vibe with Lil Baby. Given for this album, we only talked about it, I believe, 7 times. Given it is much higher on the chart, but also given it came out more recently.
And then I felt like I was an old cardigan under someone's bed.
I always forget that Folklore is actually the second album after she left Big Machine, the first one being Lover, hence why we're never probably going to get a Taylor's version of Lover. But it was such a distinct change in her style after she hung along with Bon Iver for so long that I always forget this is the second one, given it's the first one that marks her shift to kind of more this folky style.
You need to hear me out, and they said speak now.
It's funny to actually think that in this entire year, she didn't release any new material. Yeah, she did both Speak Now and 1989 Taylor's versions both this year, which I guess you can have a shorter turnaround for something like this since you're just re-recording everything you already did. There's not really any writing involved, but it's still impressive.
Think they gon' find out again. Think I gotta find out again. Behind the tent, I sin, I've been. Can't forget about that place we.
Honestly, this album just kind of came and went. I couldn't really remember much from it. Obviously, there was the whole Astroworld fiasco that was going on, but Astroworld, the album, I feel like was so much more iconic than this one. I'm surprised it's actually this high. At the same time, it is still Travis Scott. Speaking of Lover, this is one of the only albums that we've ever done more than one pop analysis of. Obviously, we did You Need to Calm Down years ago, and just this year did Cruel Summer. Really shows the staying power of Taylor Swift.
It's about time that I left Austin. About time you settled down with a man who doesn't move as quick.
Going back to talking about the rock charts, these were the kind of artists that saw this shift from just going from the old compilation albums of legendary rockers to kind of this new country rock kind of thing. You can more easily call it Americana. Obviously, American Heartbreak was the biggest one we had, but with artists like Noah Kahan in there as well, I wonder if this change is actually going to persist. Shout out to Bad Bunny getting a non-English album this high in the end of year charts. Honestly, with the way sometimes things work, you'd think it'd be a K-pop album that would be this high, but nope, Spanish album.
My 90s turned me to a superhero, yeah. Metro don't trust you.
Metro Boomin, I really do believe, is the evolution of like the DJ Khaled style artist, basically a producer who doesn't really sing or do much on the song himself besides make, well, the entire backing track, and has other artists perform on top of it.
I think I wanna stay right here tonight, cause I could be dangerous.
Yeah, Morgan Wallen's popular. Honestly, I'm beating a dead horse at this point. And this isn't even the only album of his that we're talking about for this video.
Still gotta keep a gun, it's always near me, and I'm down to hit him up.
One more time, hit my line.
I feel like Drake is such a constant in the R&B and hip-hop industry that oftentimes we get Drake overload. I actually went through his discography and was like, he's released a ton this year, right? He actually hasn't. Even this is from 2022, but maybe this stands out because it's a collaborative album with 21 Savage as opposed to just more of Drake.
I might do my best, not the best idea.
This was such a good album. It was very refreshing to have such a powerhouse of a almost entirely and strictly R&B album. We even did the pop analysis on Kill Bill. SZA deserves all the praise that she gets for this.
It must be exhausting, always rooting for the anti-hero.
She She has 10 albums on the entirety of the year-end chart for 2023. The only 3 that didn't make it into the top 25 were Evermore, the original version of Speak Now, and Taylor's version of Fearless. Even despite all of that, it is refreshing to see that her new material is the highest charting among them, proving that yes, Taylor Swift should still continue to make new music as opposed to just re-recording all of her old stuff, given there's a good reason for it.
I know that last night we let the liquor talk. I can't remember everything we said.
And here we are at number 1. It's Morgan Wallen. It's at least his new album. I don't think we're ever getting rid of him at this point. He's just too much of a dominant force in the country pop genre. But at the same time, that doesn't mean I ever have to listen to him outside of what I do for this channel. There you have it. The top 25 albums of 2023. Many of them didn't even come out in 2023, which is a little surprising. Regardless, you now have an extensive playlist for all those New Year's Eve celebrations that you're hopefully having tonight. I will see you all in 2024.
And now I need some help on the maestro, please. Maestro.